My name is Dominique Vallée, and I'm a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine. I studied at the International College of Traditional Chinese Medicine of Vancouver, and in my 4th year, I went to Taiwan to intern for 2 months at the Tzu Chi Hospital in Taipei. I always thought volunteering was really important, and it makes a connection with the community, and also it's incredibly validating, and I think that's where the word compassion comes from with volunteering. But when I went to Tzu Chi Hospital in Taipei, that's where volunteering had a whole new meaning for me. That this incredible, beautiful hospital couldn't function without all the volunteers there. From distributing drinks to making sure that all the patients were comfortable, and even the volunteers playing incredible music for everyone to hear and enjoy. I think Tzu Chi is really good at community and meeting people, and also finding out people's strength and their passion and what they want to work with and how they want to grow as people and as volunteers. If you don't know about Tzu Chi, it's an incredible organization. I really recommend looking into it. You have volunteer position in so many areas, and just look into it and they can help guide you in the right direction.
After the 2004 tsunami happened, Tzu Chi Canada's volunteers were deployed to Sri Lanka to help the distribution of relief supplies such as rice. When the catastrophic earthquake hit Haiti in 2010, Tzu Chi Canada quickly responded by launching a national fundraising campaign and mobilized volunteers in rotations to provide services there. Tzu Chi raised $1 million to rebuild 3 schools in Port-au-Prince, within Haiti's capital. In 2008, the Sichuan earthquake, also known as the Wenchuan earthquake, took its toll, measuring an 8.0 in magnitude. Tzu Chi Canada donated $5.5 million to build 8 new schools for the local communities. When the schools were completed, the foundation's CEO, Mr. Gary Ho, led the team of Canada to visit these schools and communities. In 2012, Hurricane Sandy, the largest Atlantic hurricane on record, affected 24 states in the US, with particularly severe damage in New Jersey and New York. Tzu Chi USA promptly responded by providing relief services in the devastated communities in New York. Volunteers of Tzu Chi Canada, mostly from Toronto, were mobilized to New York to help the distribution of services for the victims. After the 2015 earthquake hit Nepal, Tzu Chi Foundation Canada launched a nationwide fundraising campaign. All of the funds were donated to a Toronto-based organization called Global Medic, which is a professional disaster and crisis response organization. Global Medic used the donation from Tzu Chi Canada to assemble hundreds of water purification units for the victims' families in Nepal. Volunteers from the Tzu Chi Toronto office not only helped to assemble these units, but also fly to Nepal to hand over the units to displaced families in person. In March of 2017, heavy rains led to serious floods throughout the South American Republic, Ecuador, which affected more than 5,000 families. Tzu Chi volunteers in this country launched a Cash for Relief program to help residents clean their communities after the damage. Then, Tzu Chi volunteers from other South American countries, as well as the US, also joined the relief team to provide relief services, and the team of Canada from Toronto went there to join the service works. In August of 2017, Hurricane Harvey made landfall in Texas, which caused $198 billion in damage. 11 Tzu Chi volunteers from the Greater Vancouver area joined Tzu Chi USA's volunteers to participate in the last shift's relief works for the affected communities near Houston. In the last day, 1,504 families with 4,645 persons received the cash debit cards. Tzu Chi is always looking for more members to help with its mission of compassion and relief. For more information, please go to tzuchi.ca.
I volunteered for Tzu Chi at the South Vancouver Food Bank for roughly 8 or 9 years. One of the key principles of Buddhism is non-attachment. And what Buddhism generally says is that our attachments are our Achilles heel. And Tzu Chi says that what makes you a Buddhist is your attachment to helping others. If you're not helping, you're not a Buddhist. You can't be a Buddhist and not help compassionately and with care. And one thing he said, when I was asking about where his temple was, because that's the first thing you ask, oh, you're Buddhist, oh, where's your temple? And he pointed to his heart and he said, it's in my heart. And that's where we all carry the temple. And that's the most important place to carry it. So he had me, right? I was just swept from that moment. And it turned out to be Gary, who is the CEO of the local, he started Tzu Chi Canada. There's this notion of two-handed giving. And that's one of the things I learned that I found really interesting, is that there's a physical way that they might give you something. And so not every volunteer did this, but a number of volunteers, they'd be giving away onions. And two-handed giving was to be very conscious about what you're giving, to just not hand it to somebody, but to hand it consciously, deliberately, thoughtfully about what you're doing at the time. You are giving, you're offering, you're helping. And this two-handed giving just made it sort of almost ceremonial. The fact that it was local was important. The fact it was Buddhist. The fact that I developed a camaraderie. Also, I liked the fact that it was other cultural. I liked developing friendships in the East Asian community. I liked learning from them and getting to know them, and it really exposed me to people in the world that I never would have been exposed to, and we developed friendships.
When you think of volunteering, you should really think of Tzu Chi. Why? You are no doubt aware of the wildfire situation in BC this past summer. Many people lost their homes and were in desperate need of support. When you lose your home and most of your belongings, it's devastating, and it's not just about providing financial support. It's about providing emotional and physical support as well. Tzu Chi volunteers helped to provide evacuees with free services which help provide this kind of support. One of the main services provided has been acupuncture clinics. Acupuncture has been proven to help treat depression, stress, and anxiety, all of which are common conditions for people involved with these kinds of disasters. And herbal tea has been proven to help evacuees be able to get a good night's sleep in order to have the strength to deal with their situation. Here you can see Canadian Federal Minister of National Defense and Federal Minister of Public Security with some of our Tzu Chi volunteers. Now, this is not the first time that Tzu Chi has helped out with natural disasters in Canada. In fact, in January of 2017, Tzu Chi donated $700,000 to support 2 school districts in Fort McMurray to help the students to recover and rebuild resilience after the wildfire last May. Now, you might be thinking, I never heard of Tzu Chi. Well, here's some quick facts about this amazing organization. The Tzu Chi Foundation is an international organization with over 10 million members in 47 countries. It literally means compassion relief. In the last 25 years, Tzu Chi Canada has raised over $50 million in donations, served 3 million people, contributed over 6 million volunteer hours, and regularly serves at over 90 service locations in Canada. Tzu Chi was founded by Master Chen Yan, who was voted by Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. So if you're interested in volunteering, but you're not really sure where to begin, then check out the Tzu Chi website or drop by their office and say hello.